The story goes that when founding president Dr. Charles Millikan went out to the 1,200-acre site east of Orlando for what was to become Florida Technological University and later UCF, he couldn't find it and had to return after he went back to town to get better directions. Back in the mid-1960s, the area was just woodlands and lakes, but Charlie Millikan had the foresight to see the potential of what the land could become. Florida Technological University was renamed the University of Central Florida in 1978. It had come a long way since its first class of nearly 2,000 students arrived to study mainly science and technology. It was already growing in size and reputation, but with the appointment in 1992 of Dr. John Hitt as UCF's fourth president, it ushered in an era of unprecedented expansion and growth. From more than 21,000 students in 1992, John, his wife and secret weapon Martha, watched UCF become Florida's largest university and the second largest university in the nation. With more than 58,000 students, a vibrant and modern campus with state-of-the-art facilities, and a world-class faculty. It all began with 5 simple goals that had a very unassuming start.
As I recall, he pulled a piece of paper out of his jacket, handed it to me with these 5 goals scribbled in handwriting on it, and said, "What do you think about these?" And my first reaction was, Mr. President, these are about the simplest, most straightforward, clear and concise aspirations that any institution could have. And the one thing that struck me the most about it was that 5th goal, and that is that everything that we do, we want to do it in a partnership. We want to be America's leading partnership university.
When I got to Orlando, I saw a really dynamic community. You know, we were in a big growth spurt, and I knew we would never have the resources we would need to take on the significant problems before us if we acted alone.
One of those partnerships was formed to help grow high-tech businesses in the area, and Dr. Hitt's idea would become a cornerstone for Florida's information-based economy.
Well, the Florida High-Tech Corridor Council came about in the mid-90s as an effort to save a $1.4 billion, 1,500 job expansion from going offshore. John made a commitment to our company, AT&T, along with then USF President Betty Castor, to pledge the strength of the 2 universities and some dollars, real money, to help with the research that the company needed. That's grown into support for 400 companies, 1,200 projects, engaging 2,400 starving graduate and doctoral students working side by side with UCF, USF, and UF professors. We've invested $56 million of corridor funds in these projects with these companies. But the return to the state, to the companies and the university, has been over $1 billion. That's a pretty good partnership.
I'd seen what universities could do to help build a local economy. And it just seemed to me if we were deliberate in trying to align our programs of teaching, research, and service against the needs of the regional economy, we could build opportunities for students, help grow the local culture and economy, and really build a base of support for our university.
In 2003, electronic arts went on a massive university push. We were only finding about 17% of our new hires here in the state of Florida were coming from the university system. So we knew to grow to large studios or large organizations of 500, 1,000 or more people, we had to partner with industry. It was very apparent to us that the University of Central Florida was the partnership university that they said they were. The FIA program is built around industry and economic development, but at the core of it, it's about entrepreneurship and creativity.
Since its first class of 12 students in 2005, FIA now graduates 60 students a year who go on to work in gaming, simulation, engineering, and the defense industries. As UCF biomedical research rose in prominence, John introduced a bold initiative in 2005. Studies showed a physician shortage would grow more and more severe in coming years, and he wanted to create a medical school to develop homegrown talent that would stay in the region. But what was also exciting about the initiative was its enormous economic potential.
Well, I met Dr. Hitt 5 years ago when I was interviewing for this position, and I was impressed. He was quietly courageous, talked about building a medical school, and shared his vision. And for a person who had never been in a medical school before, he knew exactly what he wanted to do and seemed to know exactly what he was looking for.
Helped by an initial donation of $12.5 million and 50 acres of land by the Tavistock Group, as well as very broad community and university-wide support, just 18 months after launching the initiative, the medical school had the approval of then-Governor Jeb Bush and the Florida legislature.
President Hitt's work ethic is infectious. I can't tell you how many times we would talk by phone at 10 or 11 o'clock at night, just bouncing ideas back and forth. The man never stops. And look, it's inspiring to work with a man whose mission is to make a difference.
Under Dr. Hitt's leadership, planning and building of the med school proceeded with unprecedented speed. In 2009, the inaugural class moved to the Lake Nona campus.
Dr. Hitt has eliminated roadblocks practically every day, and the very first, maybe very visible roadblock that presented itself was the opportunity to raise scholarships for the charter class. I was told, no, we've tapped out our community, we can't do that. And the president, we had a session on the Palm Coast with a lot of the leadership of Central Florida where he and I were co-leading a small group after I had given a talk about the vision for the medical school. And he nudged me in that meeting and he said, you know that idea? Try it out on this group. And I did, and we got our first 2 scholarships right there on the spot. And it was really the president's initiative, his insight, and his willingness to go beyond what had been planned to make that happen. Our medical school has the privilege of being surrounded by a brand new medical city. And again, Dr. Hitt's vision changed his original plan to build the medical school on the campus to building it out here. And he saw the potential for that. And that decision and many others have allowed our medical school in a very short time to gain visibility nationally and even internationally in some cases.
Along with the excitement of new facilities and initiatives, John never lost sight of the needs of students and their families. His strong belief in accessible and affordable college education helped pave the way to streamline the transfer process to UCF for students attending two-year colleges. In 2005, UCF and Brevard, Lake Sumter, Seminole, and Valencia colleges signed the Central Florida Higher Education Consortium, which led to the Direct Connect to UCF program. The consortium fostered the development of joint facilities, curricula alignment, and student services, and the guaranteed admission to UCF that have made Direct Connect a national model. During John's tenure as president, the average SAT scores of incoming students have increased dramatically, as has the percentage of minority students enrolled. He has also emphasized learning opportunities outside the classroom with businesses, government, and community organizations. Research funding has surpassed the $100 million mark for 7 consecutive years, and UCF has been named as one of the top up-and-coming universities by U.S. News & World Report, and was recognized by the Carnegie Foundation with its highest designations in the areas of research activity and community engagement.
My value in education was that my late father had wanted me to go to college, and my mother insisted that I do it, and I wasn't going to disappoint her, and in his memory, I wanted to do it. I had very little idea of what it meant to go to college. I didn't know what a PhD was. It shaped first the person that I could become. I was given opportunities to grow intellectually, emotionally, professionally, personally, and to learn about opportunities that I had never known existed. A good college education opens horizons, helps a person of any age understand more about himself or herself, and more about the opportunities that are in the world.
Part of that student experience includes on-campus recreational activities, clubs, the performing arts, as well as sports. In 2007, UCF opened a new 10,000-seat arena for concerts, commencements, and sporting events, and the 45,000-seat Bright House Network Stadium opened its doors for its inaugural football game.
September 15th, 2007. It's a day I will never forget. It encompassed everything you could imagine for a collegiate football experience. You couldn't have asked for a grander, more exciting, and more memorable experience than that opening football game. Dr. Hitt is an extraordinary fan of football. He loves what athletics brings to a campus. It's an opportunity for our student athletes to compete at the highest level. It involves teamwork, it involves camaraderie, it involves effort, it involves pride and showing your school. He likes all of that, but he also just likes a great football game.
UCF's recent entry into the Big East Conference will help further the university's athletic goals and take the Knights to the next level on the national stage.
From coast to coast, all time zones, people watch and follow the Big East Conference. It will bring additional exposure to our great university. It will expose more of the nation to what we have to offer here, and I think it's only positive in every respect.
Whether it's training the next generation of scientists and engineers or future hospitality leaders, UCF has an eye on meeting the employment demands of local industries by linking its teaching, research, and service efforts with regional needs. Dr. Hitt's innovative partnership approach has led to collaborations to advance the prosperity for all of us in Central Florida.
People do say how much President Hitt has accomplished in the last 20 years. But I think what's important is what that 20 years is going to do for the next 200. He has laid such a foundation that is going to make a difference for generations.
This university is destined for greatness, and President Hitt's leadership is the perfect leadership for this time in the university's history. You know, he's a rock, and he's respected, and he knows how to handle the good times and the bad, and that's exactly the solid rudder that this ship needs.
I think one of the amazing things about John Hitt to me is that having served 20 years, he still has a vision. He's still looking at new ways to apply those goals, way that we can maneuver or change course within those goals to even enhance them and improve what we're doing.
He is a class guy. He knows where he wants to go. He does a good job of painting the vision, and then he does a good job of empowering you such that you can contribute to your fullest potential. We are blessed to have Dr. Hitt at the helm. We truly are.